Hello friends, I hope you're all well and enjoying the weather wherever you are. Today I would like to practice and work on 3 poses in particular. The first one is Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle pose, Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon pose, and Vrksasana, the tree pose. Please remember when you practice to listen to your body. And if your body doesn't want to do something, please don't do it. In time, your body may want to do it, and in which case, then, by all means, do it. When you practice, please be sure to have things available to you that you might need. For instance, you might need a block, or a strap, or a blanket, or tissues. I always have something to drink nearby just in case I get thirsty. So, whatever you need, please have it on hand. And please remember, for when we practice meditation, it'll be a short meditation. When we practice meditation at the end, please have something to sit on. It could be a block, it could be a book, it could be a folded up mat, just something to raise your hips up off the ground. And if you really want to, you could just lay down and practice, but then please have something underneath your head just to elevate the head slightly, like you do when we're practicing Savasana at the end, the corpse pose, so that your forehead is above your chin rather than your chin sticking up. When your chin sticks up, that tightens the back of the neck. So I'd really rather that you didn't do that. So, before we start practicing the particular poses I mentioned, I'm going to do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A, the Sun Salutation A. I like to do that when we have short sessions, as this one is, because basically we're working on 3 poses. That's my dog Tufty, or our dog Tufty. Tufty Comet. She is a wonderful friend. So when I'm doing the short sessions, I like to do Surya Namaskar A or Surya Namaskar B just to allow my body to relax a little bit and to open up, especially as it's been about 3 hours since I had my morning practice. So, if you would like to participate in the Surya Namaskar, please do so. I will not be spelling that one out, but if you are interested, I'll be happy to teach a session on Surya Namaskar A and Surya Namaskar B. There. I did 5 rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Now, the first pose that I would like to work on is Utthita Parsvakonasana. It's a very nice pose, and there are a number of different levels that you can do it at. So, to begin with, I will do the easiest one of the selection that I've chosen. Stand with your feet 3.5 or 4 foot apart as if you were going to practice Vrksasana 2. Make sure your feet are comfortably far apart, but not too far apart. Remember that as you lengthen your body in these poses, if you overstretch at the beginning, you're much more likely to pull a muscle than otherwise. So it's always better to begin within your comfort zone and maintain your comfort zone. When I practice, I generally like to go to just about the edge of what I can do, but I don't go to the edge. I step back a little bit from the edge, so I'm almost at my edge, but I'm not at my edge. That way it allows the sinews and the muscles to stretch without actually tearing them. So, make sure the outer edges of your feet press down. You engage the big toes. Turn the right foot out. Bring the foot down. Bring the rear toes in a little bit so that you feel balanced, whatever that happens to be for you. If at this point you find that your stance, or at any point you find your stance is too wide, just draw the front leg back. Don't worry about doing it. You know, some people, I've noticed in the classes that I teach, some people, they will overstretch, but they won't make the correction. They won't change their pose so that they feel more comfortable. You get a lot more out of your poses if you feel comfortable in them than if your muscles are straining. You don't want the strain. So now draw the right knee so that the knee itself is above the ankle bone and the kneecap lines up with the second toe. Now, if you've had damage to your ankle or to your knee and it won't do that, please don't worry about it. Make sure that you feel comfortable. Put your hands on your hips for a moment and notice that the left hip is further forward than the right hip. That's how it should be because of the angle that the legs are at. So bring the arms up, roll them over, bring the wrists back. Now we're in Vrksasana 2. So what I would like you to do is to drop the left hand down, lay it against the left leg, take the right hand and put the right hand behind the knee so the fingers are pointing forwards and have the hand active. It's gently pressing into the flesh behind the knee. If for some reason or another you have to have it up higher, have it up higher. But I don't want you to put it on the knee. I want you to put it behind the knee at some point that is appropriate for you. Now, as far as your chest goes, the chest is revolving very slightly towards the ceiling. So there's a very gentle twist going on in the spine. Now, pressing down gently, the fingers are pointing forwards, the knee lines up with the second toe, generally. The joint of the knee is above the ankle bone. That helps to protect the kneecap, helps to protect the knee. Now, look behind you, look towards the left shoulder. Don't force the head around, just let your head turn at an angle that's comfortable for you. Especially if you're just starting to practice today. I mean, you haven't practiced at all, or this is the first time today that you're practicing your yoga. So you want to make sure that your neck feels comfortable. Drop the arm down, looking over the shoulder, then bring the left arm up and over as if you were doing the crawl or a swimming stroke. You're looking towards the armpit. You don't have to look at the armpit. You don't even have to see the armpit if your neck doesn't want to turn. Pressing down with a hand. Now your rear leg is strong. Keep the rear leg strong. Imagine that you're pulling the leg behind you. Now, that's one way. Straighten the front leg. We must do it on the other side. The same things come into play. Keep the rear leg strong. The big toes are engaged. The arches in the feet are pulling up. Relax. Let the spine comfortably extend. The arm that's on the leg, the hand that's on the leg, the arm is bent. It's not straight. It's comfortably bent. Now drop the arm down, bring the other arm up. Vrksasana 2 again. Straighten the front leg. Now for the next version you can do, bring the knee over the ankle. Now bring the arm down, the right arm down. Pull the skin back from behind the knee with the elbow and the arm. The palm of the hand is facing upwards, as if you're holding a glass. Again, look behind you or to a comfortable position. Keep the legs active. Draw the left arm up overhead. Lengthen the spine comfortably. Notice the spine gently turning towards the ceiling. Keep an eye on the knee. Listen to your body. Enjoy the stretch. Don't overstretch. If you find that this position doesn't work for you, go back to the other one. Now draw the arm back. Come back up to Vrksasana 2. Straighten the front leg. Feet face the front. Pause for a moment. And turn and do the other side. Draw the left arm down. Pull some of the skin from behind the knee back with the elbow. The palm faces upwards. Allow the torso to rotate. Keep the right leg strong. The right leg is pulling behind you. Draw the right arm up overhead. I prefer to go this way rather than down and up, because if you do that, I find anyway that I'm a lot more likely to catch here at the shoulder. There's a slight rotation in the up hand. The right hand is turning slightly towards behind you. Try not to keep the hands too tight. Now draw the arm back, Vrksasana 2, straighten the front leg, feet face the front. Now, for the other way, for the final way that I'm going to teach, I like to come to this one through Surya Namaskar. So, I'm going to do Surya Namaskar, A, and then at the appropriate point, I will come into the pose. So I'll start here. Uttanasana, half Uttanasana, step back, go into Chaturanga Dandasana, the 4-point staff, Urdhva Mukta Svanasana, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now at this point, draw the right leg forward, adjust the rear leg. Now look at the shin. The shin is straight up and down. Put the hand on the floor, or if you want to use a block, you can use a block. Turn the torso, bring the hand up, the left hand up on the thigh, then lengthen the arm out overhead. Do not overstretch. Keep the rear leg strong. Remember the rotation in the body, rotation in the torso, in the spine. And then draw the arm back. Come back to Vrksasana 2. Straighten the front leg. Feet face the front. Return to Tadasana. Now I'm going to do the other side. Tadasana, Uttanasana, half Uttanasana, step back with the left leg, Step back with the right leg. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukta Svanasana, upward facing dog. Adho Mukta Svanasana, downward facing dog. Draw the left leg forward. Check the shin. Put the hand in a position that you're comfortable having it in, or use a block, whichever you're most comfortable with. Adjust the rear leg so that you feel comfortable. Keep an eye on the knee. Use the big toes. Keep the arch in the rear foot going. Keep the rear leg strong. Allow the torso to revolve. Draw the right arm overhead. Look towards the armpit, keeping an eye on the foot. Remember, whenever you need to use a prop in a pose, that's part of the pose for you. It is not a cheat. And now come out of the pose, go back to Vrksasana 2. Straighten the front leg, feet face the front. Return to Tadasana. Oops. So, now for the next pose that we're going to do Ardha Chandrasana. Now, there are a number of ways you can do it. We're going to start out using a chair. Now, it doesn't have to be a folding chair. It can be any type of chair. But what I recommend that you do is, if you're going to use a chair, make sure that at least its front legs are on the mat. Don't have the entire chair off of the mat. So, to practice this pose, listen to your body. As you know, when you do this pose, one leg is up in the air, the other leg is on the ground. One thing I want you to keep in mind is that I want your hips to open. Try and keep the top hip, in this case we'll begin with the left leg, that keep the top hip, the right leg, lined up with the bottom hip. If the top leg is revolving towards the floor a little bit, you're going to feel off balance. So, we'll start in Vrksasana 2. Stand with your feet comfortably far apart. Turn the left foot out. Bend the knee. Then bring the rear leg forward a little bit. Bring the hand down, rest it on the chair, and lift the leg up. Don't worry if your balance is off. Oops. Now, keep the standing leg strong. Press down with the big toe. The right hip is above the left hip and is opening towards the front. The arch of the up foot is pressing towards the wall, keeping the leg strong. Whoops, whoops, whoops. And then come out of the pose. You could also use the back part of the chair instead of using the flat pan of the chair, if you want to. So, we'll do it on the right side. Please keep in mind that some days you're going to have better balance than other days. And if you've always had rubbish balance, like I have, there are often challenging days. But you go with it. The great thing about yoga is the growth. So take your body as it is on the day that you have it. Don't worry about what you were able to do yesterday or what you might be able to do tomorrow. Just work with what you've got today. Jam yesterday, jam tomorrow, but never ever jam today. So you just work with what you've got. Vrksasana 2, at least the feet of. Turn the right foot out, bend the knee a little bit, scooch forward, bring the hand down. Scooch is a technical term, by the way. Put the hand down onto the chair, lift the leg up, open, oops, open hip, pull the toes back, keep the arch of the foot pressing towards the wall. Oh boy, not my good day. See, it's like that for everyone. This is my 5th decade of practicing, and I still get days like this. And down. Now to practice with the back of the chair. And then after this one, we'll do it from the floor. So bend the knee. Find the right distance for you. Scooch the leg forward. Bring the hand down if you're using the chair. And down. Now put this away. Feet 3.5 or 4 foot apart. Arms up. Bend the knee. Bring the hand down to the floor, or if you're going to rest the hand on a block, please do so. Scooch forward. Now, when you position your hand, don't have the hand directly in front of you. Have the hand, as this is the right leg, slightly out to the right, using the right arm. If you have the hand directly in front of you, when you practice, you're going to be quite wobbly, or you might be quite wobbly. You'll be less likely to be wobbly if the hand is placed slightly out towards the right. Lengthen the spine. Allow the hips to stack. Extend the leg out. Keep the up leg strong. Press down with the big toes. Lengthen your spine comfortably. Look wherever you feel most balanced. And then come down. Vrksasana 2. Whoops. Straighten the front leg. Do the other side. Bend the left knee. Make sure the foot's pointing directly forwards. If the foot is pointing slightly to the left or to the right, that's the way your body's going to go. Listen to your body. Lengthen the spine. The arch of the foot is trying to reach the wall behind you. The up arm is being pulled up towards the ceiling. The toes on the ground are engaged. The toes and the foot in the air are engaged. The legs are strong. Listen to your body. And then come down. Vrksasana 2. Straighten the front leg. Feet face the front. Return to Tadasana. Now the final pose that I want to work on today is Vrksasana, the tree pose. Now, when you practice the tree pose, I encourage you to come off your mat. Be on the surface of the floor. Excuse me. If you have balance issues, have a chair nearby so you can hold on to it. So given how my practice was earlier on, I'm going to get my chair out and I'm just going to have it there, just in case. And remember, always have some of the legs of the chair, 2 of the legs on the chair, on the floor. On the mat. You can have all 4 on the mat if you want, but at least 2 are on the mat. That helps to prevent them from slipping. So I have here one side, I have here another side. Both places where I can hold on to. So if you need to use a prop in a pose, use a prop in the pose, right? Now, when you practice this pose, there are a couple of ways that you can have your feet. The first thing I want to tell you is that at no point does any part of the foot touch the knee. You never put the foot over the knee. You never put the foot on the knee. The toes don't touch the knee. The heel doesn't touch the knee. The arch of the foot doesn't touch the knee. The toes can be on the floor with the heel on the ankle, like so. Or the foot can be on the calf. Or the foot can be entirely on the thigh with the heel up near the groin. It's really important that you do that. The other thing is that there is as much pressure with the bent foot going into the standing leg as the standing leg has going into the ground. The bent leg is not passive. The bent leg is really active. And the knee of the bent leg, I would like you to imagine that the bent leg is coming back as if to go behind you. It doesn't matter how far it goes. But what I want you to be aware of is how the groin happens to feel at the time. If the groin feels really tight, you've gone too far. So make sure that the knee is pointing a direction where your groin feels comfortable with it. Okay, so don't overdo that. And the other thing is lengthen the spine, lift the clavicles, the collarbones, drop the spine of scapula, the top part of the shoulders. Make sure it's nice and lengthened. Make sure that your feet are strong. The big toe in the standing foot is active. You pull the arch up. You pull the kneecaps up. You pull the kneecaps up in both legs. That will help to protect the knees. So, it doesn't matter how you have your hands. Have your hands however you want. And if it makes you feel more balanced to have the hands wide out or one in the air and one down, do that. Do that. The main thing is that you feel comfortable and you get the alignment right. The only thing I ask is that you don't put the hands together unless you can relax your shoulders down and the arms touch the ears. So, not this. This is fine. This I don't particularly care for. Of course, if you want to do that, you certainly can. But I would rather you didn't. So have the arms however you want, except for this. That's just my prejudice. So I know in some schools, that's perfectly fine. That's the fine. But just please don't do it. Okay, now to begin with, the easiest way to go is toes on the floor, heel on the ankle. Again, the leg is active, as if opening up. Press down with the big toe. Both big toes. Lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula, extend the spine, bring the arms up, Hold a nice large beach ball, whatever that beach ball is for you. The other way is to draw the foot up, put it on the calf, and then press down with the big toes. Make sure the foot is pressing firmly into the calf. The leg is going backwards, opening up the groin. Lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula. Choose the hands that you would like to do. Adjust your body. You may find sometimes that your balance goes out of whack. When you notice that, be sure that you're engaging the big toe of the standing leg. Try to keep the weight so that the weight is in front of the heel, not on the heel or in the toes. It's just in front of the heel, between the heel and the arch of the foot, or maybe even in the arch of the foot, but not in the toes and not on the heel. That'll throw you off balance. Another thing is your upper body posture. If your posture leans forwards, you're going to have more difficulty with it than if your posture is straight up and down. Now, everybody's got a different body, and everybody's got different stuff going on. I have scoliosis, and scoliosis really affects how my balance is on one side than it is on the other. So some days it's great, some days it's rubbish. So whatever it is, just allow your body to be the way that it wants to be, but you keep in mind what it is that you're going for in the long run. Okay. So the final position, draw the right leg up. The heel is up near the groin. The leg is opening. The big toes engaged. Whoops, 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 whoops. Yeah, balance today. Bring the arms up. Hold a nice large beach ball. Or if you can put your hands together with the arms touching the ears, please do that. Now, in whatever position you are, I want you to notice how your ribs are. Try to keep the ribs tucked a little bit. Allow the shoulders to drop down a little bit. Lengthen the back of the neck. Keep the face soft. Keep your awareness in the arch of the foot and in other parts of your body as they express themselves. Remember, the more your body relaxes, the more you will notice different things that you can adjust. And undo the bind. So when your muscles are really tight, it is difficult for you to feel the things that need to be manipulated. But if you come to the poses in a quasi-relaxed way, you'll get more from the poses because you will be able to detect in your body the things that want to be moved or need to be manipulated. There are some things you can do about them and some things you can't. And if you can't do something about it, that's okay. That's just the way it is today. Now, be mindful of what's going on. Choose the position that you would like, and let's do the other side. Remember, always do both sides. Don't just do one side, unless there is a reason why that's the case. If you have a problem with the one leg and you can't do it, that's fine. Press the leg, press the foot into the leg or into the calf or the heel against the arch, the heel against the ankle bone. Bring the arms up. Tuck the two floating ribs. Lift the clavicles, the collarbones. Drop the spine of scapula. Weight is in front of the heel. Use the big toe. Imagine that you're anchored to the center of the earth with the foot and towards the stars with your hands, however your hands are right now. Listen to your body. Whoops, 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 whoops. And there we go. Return to Tadasana. Now, the next thing that I would like to do is a brief bit of meditation before practicing Savasana. You could also do it the other way around if you wanted to. Traditionally, as I understand it, asanam, the physical practice of yoga, was a way for you to get your body ready to do dharana, the meditation portion of yoga. Remember that yoga is not just the physical form. Yoga is also breathing exercises, yoga is also meditation, and there are also several different ethical things that are involved in the practice of yoga. You can do just one of them if you like. But if you are going to do meditation regularly, I recommend that at least you do some of the physical practices just to limber up your body so you can sit comfortably in meditation. So, now, when you practice, you can use a block to sit on, you could use a book to sit on, you could use a mat folded up to sit on, anything that just has your hips somewhat elevated. I like to use a blanket. This is a blanket from Ethiopia that was given to me by a good friend, Jason. Very nice. Very comfortable, but whatever you like, whatever blanket works for you. So, sit down. Find a position that works for you. Take your thumb of the right hand and just put it behind the calf muscle in the right, behind the calf muscle in the left leg. And just pull it out a little bit and draw the leg in. The same thing with the right leg. Now, you could sit in Siddhasana like this if it's comfortable for you. Be careful of the knees. If you want to sit cross-legged, sit cross-legged. If you want to sit on your legs with a block or something like that under your bottom so your bottom has support, you can do that too. If you want to lay down, you can do that as well. So, please sit comfortably. Find a position that works for you. If you're going to use a blanket, a blanket is nice, especially after you've been practicing the physical practice, because then your body is starting to cool down, and so you have something comfortable to sit on. So this will just be short, just a couple of minutes. Lengthen the spine, lift the clavicles, drop the spinous scapula, roll the shoulders over a little bit. You can have your hands on the knees. If you place the hands on the knees and you pull very gently, that will help to open up the nostrils. And you use this particular position in some of the practices of pranayama. We will not be doing any pranayama. So, you can sit like this. You can sit like this. You can sit like this. You can sit however you would like to sit, so long as you feel comfortable. Make sure that the lower part of your back does not feel tight. If the lower part of the back feels tight, shortly you will find that it'll be an uncomfortable position to be in. You may push your way through it, and well, that's one thing. But I wouldn't advise that. Make sure that you're seated comfortably, even if it means you sit in a chair. Sitting in a chair is fine, so long as your sit bones are near the edge of the chair and don't lean against the back of the chair. Unless you have to. Everything is unless you have to. Okay, listen to your body. I do not like to practice with my glasses on, so I will take them off. I don't like the pressure on the bridge of the nose. You can have your eyes open or the eyes closed. Look down towards the floor so that you can feel the back of the neck lengthening a little bit. Keep the face soft. The crown of the head is soft. Become aware of your breathing. Let the hips, thighs, and buttocks become heavy. Relax the face, the ears, the crown of the head. Hello, Tufty. She often comes and meditates with me, or sits with me when I meditate. It's very nice. See? It's going to be a problem for Shavasana. Become aware of your breath. Try and breathe from the tummy, providing that is available to you. You may find that that doesn't really work. If that's the case, it could be that you're too close to the ground, you need a slightly higher position, or it could just be that your body doesn't feel like doing that today. I would like you to breathe in through the nostrils, if that's available to you. And as you breathe in, I want you to notice the inner parts of the nostrils as you breathe up. And as you breathe out, I want you to notice the outer edges of the nostrils. Don't worry if your mind wanders. That's not at all unusual. And now, please open your eyes if you've closed